I wish I would have started that thing a few months ago. I'd be so damn good at it by now. Look at these other people that started around the same time. Look at how successful they've become. Now, I'm not sure what that thing is for you. It could be learning a new instrument. It could be learning a new language. It could be learning how to draw or how to paint. It could even be recording a YouTube video like this one. But I know we all have this one thing that if we believed we started and stayed consistent with from the very beginning, we could have done something incredible. If we could have stayed consistent, we could have been someone more incredible. Have you ever heard of the saying, there is no tomorrow? This is true. We are always living in the present. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. That is true. But let's just use our imaginations and let's skip way, way ahead into the future. So I'm going to say I'm 60 years old. How do you picture yourself at 60 years old? For me, I'd like to have a healthy body and a healthy brain. I'd like to be flexible. I'd like to have no breathing problems, no knee problem, no back problems. I'd like to be exercising at least 3 or 4 times a week. Imagine, just close your eyes for a second. Imagine the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you hear your 8-year-old grandchild say, "Come on, it's your turn to serve." And you look across at the scoreboard and it's match winning point. You look down at your hand and you see a racket and then you're at the handball and you're about to beat your 8-year-old grandchild at a game of tennis. You can open your eyes now, if they're not already opened. Did you like that visualization? Or was you second guessing the whole thing because maybe you don't want grandchildren? Maybe you don't want children. All right. Just imagine that instead of doing this, instead of having this visualization, this imagined game of tennis with your grandchildren, imagine it's with your partner or with your friends. Like, how cool would that be? You're about to beat them at a game of tennis at 60 years old. Maybe this doesn't apply to you. And you're like, "Chris, come on. I don't want to live an active lifestyle. I want to live a nice, peaceful, serene, happy life." Or maybe you're thinking, how the hell am I supposed to know what I want my life to be like when I'm 60 years old? And the truth is, you don't. But we're just imagining, right? So let's try another thought experiment. Let's imagine that instead of our 60-year-old selves, let's say we're still in the present day, but instead of being in our own body, we're in somebody else's body who you really care about. For the sake of this thought experiment, we will call this body Alex's body. So for you, just pick somebody's body whose mind you care about and whose body you care about. It could be a partner, it could be a friend, it could be family. The one rule is you have to genuinely care about their health, their body, and their mind. And you want them to live the best life that they can live. Because what you'll find is that when you're in your own body and mind, you seem to care about it a little less than, say, Alex's body, for example. You seem to let yourself off a lot more. You'll order takeaway instead of cooking. You'll skip the workout. You'll sit on the sofa and you'll watch Netflix instead of going for a walk. This can even be with people you've just met. You'll hold them in a higher regard than you do yourself. And what I mean by this, say you're having a conversation with somebody and they're struggling. You will give them the best advice that you can. You will put on this kind of mask of your mentor self, who somehow knows better than you, even though it's still you. It's absolutely bizarre. A prime example that has stuck with me for about 2 years now, I would say, is when I was playing a game called Life is Strange True Colors. As the main character in the game, you can read minds. You can read minds and understand people's feelings without having to talk to them. And this can be with most characters and also NPCs. So I'm playing this game and I'm in this pub called the Black Lantern. One of the NPCs is called Jogger. Jogger is just sitting at the table in the bar thinking, I can't go on a run. Everyone will see how awkward and out of shape I am. Forget it. And then you, as the main character, have the option to either engage with this character and what she's thinking, or you can walk away. When I play this game, I like to read everybody's minds, okay? I was very curious about what people were thinking and what they weren't telling other people, right? It's interesting. Like, imagine if you could have one superpower. Some people would say they wish they could read minds. Other people say they couldn't. Well, this game lets you experience that, right? So, of course, I engage with the conversation. My character says, hey, can I ask you something? I've always felt too self-conscious to go running, and you seem like a pro. Have you got any tips? And the jogger responds, bearing in mind the jogger is the person who feels self-conscious and doesn't want to go running because she's scared of people judging her. The jogger's response is, well, definitely don't let that stop you. Just push through it, you know? How interesting is that? The jogger was struggling herself with how she was feeling about being judged by others, but when she's asked the question of how do I do this, she puts on this mask of the mentor and she gives them the best advice she can give. But for some reason, she doesn't take it herself. Now, how many times have you done this? You know what you need to do, but yet you don't do it yourself, but you give other people advice on how to do this thing, whatever it may be. She's putting this random stranger in a higher regard than herself. She knows the advice, but for some reason, she just can't put it to play herself. She can't use it herself. But she knows the answer. After taking this in, let's step back into Alex's body. Would you order that takeaway? Would you skip the workout? Would you sit on the sofa and watch Netflix instead of going for the walk that you know is going to benefit Alex mentally and physically? I actually used this method the other day. I stepped inside my best friend's body. I was getting ready to go to the gym. I had all my gear, my backpack, my water, my change of clothes. I had all my gym gear on. I put my trainers on. I grabbed my keys. I put my earphones in. I heard the two dreaded words that nobody ever wants to hear before a workout. Battery low. I didn't know what to do. I literally went from my hallway to my living room to sit on the sofa and debate whether I should still go to the gym to work out, acting like all of a sudden, because I can't listen to my own music, I'm going to lose like 30% of my strength, or I'm going to have a really bad workout. I literally felt like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I contemplated many times if I should go to the gym or not. I was making up excuses. Oh, I can go tomorrow. I can go a little bit later once my earphones have charged. It's okay if I skip today. It's fine. Just go tomorrow. And then I imagined that I was in my best friend's body. And I asked myself the question, what would I want him to do? And that was it. I put my earphones down and I went to the gym. This little thought experiment literally made me go to the gym. Whereas maybe in the past, I would have skipped the workout. I would have gone the next day, or I would have said I would have gone the next day. But because I was like, okay, if I was in my best friend's body, what would I want him to do? I know it's going to benefit him. I know it's going to be good for him. So he needs to go, right? Like, I want him to go. But for some reason, when it's yourself, it's like, oh, it's okay. I'll go tomorrow. It's just a different game. And honestly, I'm not too sure why, because we already know the answers. We just don't put them into play. Okay, the last and final thought experiment. There are aliens above us, but the way they observe us is how we would watch TV, except with the sound on mute. And these aliens have no comprehension of the world. They see shapes and objects, but they don't understand what a phone is, or a laptop, or a TV. They don't understand that. They just see shapes and objects. Now ask that alien what it is you spend most of your time doing. That's it. Every Monday, I read Chris Williamson's newsletter. The Monday that I wrote this script, he wrote about something that I found really worked well with this video. He was talking about how you should live your life by design and not by default. If you live your life by design, by how you want it to be, then you have more of a chance of achieving that life, the life that you want. Whereas if you're living your life by default and not pushing for the goals and the achievements that you want to achieve, then you're letting your life be dictated by luck and chance. Now, I know which side I'd rather be on.